Hi everybody, welcome back here to Finn's Fans Games. I'm doing my Wrestlemania 31 reaction video, reaction review, whatever you want to call it. It's more of a reaction for me than a review. I'm not going to really score this, and I obviously know that this is not necessarily a game, but it's just like I I feel like I can cover more than just games, so maybe Finn's Fans Games is my gaming channel here. I'm gonna have a little more content other than just games, but here again is my WrestleMania reactions. First of all, I loved it. I haven't watched a WrestleMania in a while. I think it's been 5 or 6 years, and I really recently started to get into the whole wrestling thing again. I have Hulu Plus. Been watching Raw every week, a little bit of SmackDown. I'll watch like a little bit here and there of SmackDown, but I'm pretty much in the know of everything that's going on, and I've really enjoyed everything. The people that you're not supposed to like, the heels, like Seth Rollins. I don't like him, but I like him. Does that make if that makes any sense? Like he's a heel. You're not supposed to like him, but I like him as a wrestler. Excuse me. So I'll just go into this. There are going to be spoilers, so if you haven't watched it yet, I don't know if you really consider spoilers. I mean, it's going to be ruined for you if you watch Raw tonight. So, anyways, I'm going to go over the main things, and I'll start off with saying I really enjoyed it again. I was a little kind of pissed off in the beginning because I realized once it started at 7 o'clock that it actually already started at like 6 because they had the 2 hour pre-show that started at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, and they had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, Memorial Battle Royal, and the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship matches during the second hour of that preview show, and I thought that was a little that was bullshit. I mean, I'll be honest, that I was a little upset when that started because I didn't care about the tag match for the championship, but I cared about the battle royale. I wanted to watch that, and so I didn't. I don't know if they told people like the way they were marketing, at least the Andre the Giant battle royale. They were marketing that as part of WrestleMania, and so I didn't know that I needed to tune in for the pre-show. So maybe they decided at the last moment. Don't really know what happened with that. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if they did a good job of letting people know about that. I didn't know, so not really sure because I've been in the know. I thought that it was part of it, but and again I missed it. So, anyways. Big Show won that. No big surprise. I think they wanted to do a whole like Big Show Andre the Giant comparison thing, so that's why they had him win it. I love the fact that Damien Mizdow turned on the Miz, and because the Miz is a douche, I can't stand him. Why they've ever wanted him, like him as a wrestler, fine, but I hate his persona. And I didn't care about the tag championships. I'm not even actually sure because I didn't get to watch it. Who I know that whoever were the tag champs. Excuse me. Like, whoever was the tag champs, they retained their title in the Fatal 4-Way. I don't know who they were, um, but they retained their title. I do know that. So WrestleMania opens with the 7-man ladder match. And they make the comment that Daniel Bryan is starting off the show this year after finishing the show last year at WrestleMania, which is kind of interesting because if you think about it, he main evented the last year, and now he's in the opening one. Um, I think there's reasons behind that, and it wasn't bad that he started the show. I think they wanted to get the crowd riled up. It's not like they started off the show like he's some low mid card or something like that. Like they obviously. Um, Anyways, it was a good match. I loved. I actually thought maybe Dean Ambrose might win. He's one of my newer guys that I'm actually really interested in. There's a lot of guys I don't care about, but with the newer guys, I am interested in Dean Ambrose. He seems like a little bit crazy, and I like that. I don't think he's anything. I don't know if he's like what Stone Cold was back in the day, but I get that kind of vibe from him, and I like it. I get I don't give a shit what happens to me, and I enjoy that. But he got thrown through a ladder and was out of it after that. So that was great. There was Stardust getting his ass handed to him. But anyways, it wound up with Brian winning, which, you gotta believe that everybody assumed that was going to happen. You wanted to start off the show with everybody chanting yes, 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 and that's what happened. He won the ladder match. Um, it wasn't a great match, but it wasn't terrible. But it was good to start off the show and to get everybody pumped, and I was pumped. I love it when the crowd starts to chant. It was really enjoyable, and I really liked it. And I like Daniel Bryan, so that was good. And now I feel like the Intercontinental Championship that he won has a little prestige to it. It's not just another low mid card belt that nobody cares about. And I'll transition to the John Cena Rusev match because of that. Because they are trying to me, it seems like they're trying to bring some pedigree, no pun intended, with Triple H, to the lower belts. Um, and John Cena won the match between him and Rusev. I have a little bit of a problem with that. They were billing that, as they were, which is fine. But I really thought because Rusev was dominating him, and because Cena has pretty much been terrible lately, that Rusev was going to win the match. And I think that maybe they didn't have him win the match because they didn't want the WrestleMania crowd to um, get pissed off. And I mean, they would have kind of had the reaction to what they had with when Roman Reigns came out during his match, which I'll comment on this later. But I would consider they were stone cold silent when Reigns came out, and for the people who were cheering were more booing than anything with Reigns, and I feel like it would have been all kinds of boos, all kinds of terrible crap if they would have had Rusev win. Rusev, I'm sure, the guy who plays that character, probably a great guy, um, but they obviously had Cena win that match because they wanted to bring some integrity to some prestige, to some pedigree to the lower um, belts. And like I said, Rusev pretty much dominated him in that match, but they had Cena make it out of that and win. You had the Randy Orton Seth Rollins match, which was really interesting, really good. I loved each one did a finisher to each other, and each one of them got out after a 2.5 count on their finishers. It pretty much came down to um, Seth Rollins going after Randy Orton, getting him down, and then trying to do the curb stomp to him, and then out of nowhere, Randy Orton pops up, counters the curb stomp with an RKO, and I really don't know how to tell you how he did this because it was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. He literally was laying on the ground lifeless, almost like it was a ploy, just to get Seth Rollins to fall for it. And as Seth Rollins is coming down with his foot, Randy Orton pops up, grabs him, and goes back with the RKO. Great. And, covers him, wins the match. And that is interesting. I'm wondering, we'll get to this again a little bit later with the main event, how that's going to play here tonight on Raw and going forward with Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. Is that feud done over with now based on events that happened after that, or is that going to continue? Um, so you had the Divas match, which was actually pretty good. Paige, she's a hell of a wrestler, and AJ is AJ, which is fine. I can't stand the Bella twins, and it was nice to see them lose. But my only problem with this match is, I mean, it was just a regular tag team match for the Divas, and they won. The Bellas lost, but it doesn't matter. The one girl, the one belt is still the champ, and so while I like Paige and think she's fucking awesome, I just don't know if that win means anything. which is the only crappy thing about that. All right, you had the Undertaker and Bray Wyatt match, which was pretty good, and I don't have much to say about it other than because like I've never been a huge fan of the Undertaker, but I love the fact that he does come back every year for the big matches. Um, he really looked like he was hurt. He was stumbling around like a guy with concussion, and I don't know how much of an act that, how much of a part of the sports entertainment side of that there was to that. Whether he actually was hurt, like possibly dazed, concussed, and how much was just the great acting that these guys do. I'm going to say it's about 50-50. I'm going to say like he was fucking hurt, but it wasn't like as bad. Like he just made the wobbling seem a little worse. Now I can't tell you uh, if he was hurt or not, and so, but Undertaker won the match. It was an interesting match. To see Bray Wyatt to go to his little like upside down spider pose, and then to see the Undertaker sit up all at the same time like he does, it was entertaining. Um, then you had the Sting and Triple H match. Now let me start off by saying I noticed before WrestleMania started that the upcoming film Terminator Genesis is actually sponsoring WrestleMania. And I thought nothing of that. I thought it was a little weird coincidence because obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger is getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame on the celebrity end of it. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, okay, a lot of big sporting events have things that sponsor big movies and stuff that are coming out. So I didn't think anything of it. But then after Sting came out, which I love Sting's entrance, it was great. And I hope that Sting sticks around. I hope he's not just like come back here for the last 3 months, showing up and just doing the one big match and then being done. I hope he does stay. I don't know, based on his age, if he's going to, but I hope so. But the focus shifts to Triple H and his entrance. They did a Terminator entrance for Triple H. I was just like, I couldn't believe it. Like, first of all, it was awesome. I love Terminator. And although I'm not a huge fan of Triple H as a wrestler, I love his persona. Um, and they had about 4 or 6 like T800s come up out of the platform. And then after that, they had, and these are like really full scale Terminators, like what they would use in the movies. Like they looked like the real ones. Like it didn't look like some fake piece of crap. They looked great. And then rising up out of the stands, like they did, was Triple H in like a Terminator skull mask and shoulder piece, and it was amazing. I thought it was great. And then they had Arnold Schwarzenegger do the like voiceover entrance, where like they say, he said, "I've been waiting for you." That was a little crappy. Maybe I could do that better. "I've been waiting for you." I don't know. That's what he said. He did a couple Terminator lines in the intro, and I thought, well, there's your thing right there. Uh, that's why Terminator was sponsoring this. Like, it's a little bit of a cash grab, but I thought it was great. So they might even did the "I'll be back" one with it as well, but I can't really remember what the other lines were. But I thought that was interesting. Arnold doing the intro to that. So the match starts, and Triple H and Sting are, trading blows and going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, DX comes out. Now, taking granted, this is DX without Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is not out, coming out with the 3 other members of DX. And obviously, Chyna is not there because she did porn, and the WWE is never going to let Chyna come back for anything. Like it's like her and Chris Benoit do not exist for good reason. I don't want like my kids knowing about those 2 superstars and the things that they did or didn't do. Anyways, sorry to go off on a tangent there. Let me go back. So DX comes out minus Shawn Michaels, and then guess who comes out? Well, it's only the fucking people from the NWO. It's Scott Hall, Chris Nash, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan, and their NWO attire. They're not in their like Razor Ramon and like Hulkamania crap. They're in their NWO stuff, and they come out, and it's supposed to be like this big like WCW versus WWF brawl that should have happened like 15 years ago, but it's happening now. And it's awesome because I love it when some of my favorite guys from the past come back. I love DX. I love Hulk Hogan and them. Like I don't care whether he's part of the NWO or just Hulkamania. Hulk was on Raw last week, and I love that. Like just I don't even care. They don't even have to wrestle. So they're going back and forth, going at it, you know. And then, sorry about the coughs here. Pretty much DX and the Generation X and the NWO have they've each like essentially wiped each other out, so they're all on the outside of the ring, and then Sting goes to do his special move, which I don't remember what it's called, to Triple H, and out of nowhere, in the corner of the ring is Shawn Michaels. Now, like I said, Shawn Michaels did not come out with DX, and this is why. Out of nowhere, Shawn Michaels appears like a bat out of hell, kind of like Sting has appeared out of nowhere for the last 3 months on Raw. And does the sweet chin music to Sting. Triple H pins him for the win, and that's it. And Triple H wins. So that's how that happened. And then they had this big scene where afterward, a little WrestleMania moment where you had DX with Triple H and Shawn Michaels on one side, and the NWO with Sting on the other side, kind of representing WCW and WWF back, like I said, 15 years ago, the Monday Night Wars. And Triple H extends a hand to Sting, like just kind of like an olive branch, saying "Good job, good match," and that was interesting. So, like I said, they ended that on good terms, and I hope the Sting is back. Given his age, I don't know if he's going to be back for good, or if he's just going to come back for like WrestleMania, that sort of stuff for the next couple of years. Be interesting to see. Um, okay, so I've covered pretty much everything that from the main, from the whole part of the show. Now it's time for me to talk about the main event. And this is where it gets interesting because Roman Reigns comes out, and I swear to you, the crowd is just quiet. I mean, like they could care less, and which is interesting because I like the Roman Reigns persona, his character. I like it, but my problem is they've thrown him into the spotlight because his family is The Rock, and so they all, of course, he's got to be front and center. He's got to be the new face, and I liked him, and I wouldn't have had a problem if he was going to win the match. But like I said, he came out pretty much to stone cold silence. Now, Brock Lesnar comes out, and everybody is roaring. They love Lesnar, and luckily Paul Heyman keeps his mouth shut and only introduces him for like 30 seconds. And because I hate it when Paul Heyman goes on a long ass rant, because I'd rather have Lesnar talking. But anyways, so you have that, and I will comment on the Rock thing also after this. But I want to talk about the main events because I really thought this was the best part of the night. So Lesnar comes out. They start the match. And Lesnar is suplexing Roman Reigns left and right. I mean, it's not even funny. Like, he is mauling him. And you get the impression that Lesnar is going to win this, and he's going to humiliate him. And he F5s him, and you think, well, just pin him and you're going to win. But you can tell that they just want Lesnar to humiliate him. Like, maybe they're listening to the WWE Universe. And so they're not going to have babyface Reigns win, and they're going to embarrass him. And my thought is maybe they turn Roman Reigns into a heel now, starting tonight on Raw and going forward. I don't know what they're going to do. That's my thought. So basically, This match went this way. 90% of it is Roman Reigns getting his ass handed to him by Brock Lesnar. I mean, he was suplexed at least 10 times, maybe more. At one point, the in-ring mics pick up Brock Lesnar yelling off to Reigns. He says, "Suplex City, bitch," which is great. And I'm sure that was trending on Twitter worldwide. And but that was great. But they get outside of the ring, and he has Roman Reigns essentially laying face up against a the steel post in the corner of the outside of the ring. And not Cena, I'm sorry, not John Cena. What the fuck's wrong with me? Um, Brock Lesnar goes to ram at him, like spear him essentially, and somehow Reigns falls out of the way. He either falls or like counters it. I feel like he just like fell out of the way, and Lesnar rams himself temple first right here into that steel post, and there's just blood everywhere. And first of all, I gotta say, it looked real. Um, you know, sometimes they can do a good job of making some of that stuff look real. It was real. That blood was real. Lesnar looked dazed. He probably was dazed. And I think, it's all supposed to happen. It's all according to their plan. But he's dazed. And they both get back in the ring, somehow avoiding the 10 count for both of them. And then out of nowhere, I mean, out of nowhere, Reigns is revived, and he's doing the Superman punch to him a couple of times, and then Lesnar counters it, and then they both are down, and then I'm not even kidding you, 3 minutes before the show ends, this is like at 10:57 Eastern Standard Time because I actually looked at my phone. You hear Seth Rollins' music play, which is interesting because Seth Rollins lost his match to Randy Orton earlier, and I thought, well, if he beat Randy Orton, maybe he would come out. But if you lost, why would you come out again? Like almost embarrassing yourself. But he comes out, Money in the briefcase. He sprints down. The crowd goes wild, and I thought this was awesome. I mean, regardless of what I think of him, I thought it was an awesome moment. He cashes in the Money in the briefcase. Essentially, is like they're not going fast enough for him, which makes sense because these two are dazed and he wants to get in and pin one of them or whatever. And they announce him into the match. They announce that it's now a triple threat match, and obviously triple threat rules apply. This is where it gets interesting. Don't leave me here. The triple threat match doesn't matter who you pin. The winner, you don't have to pin the champ to win, and then obviously take the belt. So Seth Rollins goes for a move on Lesnar. Lesnar counters it, and then he gets out of it. He goes after, like I said, he goes after Lesnar, and then when he goes after Lesnar, out of nowhere, Roman Reigns comes and spears Lesnar. So Lesnar's out of it, like rolled out of the ring. He's just like doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Paul Heyman can't believe what's going on. And then Reigns is like just pooped, like he has nothing left in him. And out of nowhere, Seth Rollins curb stomps Roman Reigns, pins him. They announce him as the new champ, gets the belt, sprints down and out like he stole the damn thing. And that's what he did. He cashed in the Money in the briefcase. Did some little trickeration there and won the title. And that is fair and square. And it's going to be an interesting new angle. And that's what happened. Your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion is Seth Rollins. So that's with that. And then the only reason I left out the whole thing with The Rock is because it was really a waste of time. I love The Rock. I love it when he comes back. They had him out there with Triple H and Stephanie slaps him and tells him to get the hell out of the ring, and then all that, because first of all, they've been showing Ronda Rousey all freaking night, going to her on camera, and I didn't think anything of it, but then he goes out there and they have Ronda Rousey come out because she's obviously the UFC women's champ, beats the shit out of anyone she's ever touched. She puts Stephanie in like this arm bar, gets her, and that's pretty much it. Like, I wanted to see her like pummel her, and that was it. And then they run out, and then they have the Rock and Ronda Rousey just in the middle there, and it was a good moment, but it just was a little predictable. They obviously weren't going to have the Rock hit a woman, so that's. That is my WrestleMania 31 recap. Again, this is my YouTube channel, Fence Fans Games. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. Tell your friends about this if you like my videos. I'm not going to give this a score because it's not a game. There were things I liked and things I didn't like, and I covered them in this video. So again, thank you for watching. And stay tuned for more content.